is MrBeast, and this is an example of a MrBeast intro. I am a professional editor in TV and video, and today we are going to talk about why MrBeast editing all of his videos like this will hurt him in the long run. So let's, okay, but for real, hello, welcome back. My name is Justin. I am actually an editor for a living. I've been on YouTube for over a decade now in one form or another. And today I wanted to talk about Jimmy, the incredibly smart decisions he's made in terms of his editing and storytelling so far, but most importantly, the significance of editing with purpose. And when I say that, I don't mean editing with the purpose of creating a video with high retention and watch time, although those things are very important and have their place. I mean editing with the purpose in mind of each individual video, so that your highest priority is the impact of the story and not so much the impact of the style. Does that make sense? It will. Off the bat, I want to say I respect the hell out of MrBeast and the whole crew. They put out pretty reliably consistent content quality-wise across like a million channels, and Jimmy himself is an incredible businessman. And I'm not just talking about starting his own companies like Beast Burger or Feastables. I'm talking about how in every single video they are all designed almost scientifically to maintain your attention. He is selling his channel to you all of the time, and he does a great job of it. To dive a little deeper into what I'm talking about here, I'm going to break down and compare two of MrBeast's recent uploads: 1,000 blind people see for the first time and 100 kids versus 100 adults. The first thing you'll notice in every single MrBeast video is the intro, obviously, and what he does in the intro is he establishes the concept with big titles and bold visuals in the first 10 to 20 seconds.
I built two massive cubes so these 100 kids can compete against these 100 adults.
Whichever cube has the most people inside of it after 100 hours splits $500,000.
100 kids are going head to head with their parents.
In this video, we're curing 1,000 people's blindness. It's gonna be crazy.
Most of us see the world like this. But here's the thing, 200 million people see the world like this. But I just made it one less.
Within the first 60 seconds of the video, he will go into a little bit more detail about the challenge or the concept and have at least one interesting or engaging thing happen. In the video where he pays to treat people's blindness, for example, they explain the procedure and that a lot of people don't have access to it. Tugs at the heartstrings, gets you right settled in. In the 100 kids versus 100 adults challenge, they jump right into an hour into the challenge where there was a $1,000 offer to leave the box, and some people leave. It shows the stakes and also serves to kind of weed the people out that weren't as dedicated to the challenge to keep the video more entertaining. And again, it gets you settled in. Now, I don't know how many of you watching are tuned into how YouTube watch time and retention work, but one of the most important things you can do for a video is to have an incredibly engaging first 60 seconds. It is very common for 40 to 70% of your audience, sometimes more, to click off the video before the first 60 seconds is over. So you might get the view, but you won't get the watch time, which means you don't get the retention, the subscribers, the return viewers, or the revenue that you might be looking for. So to basically have an interesting video in the first 60 seconds of your video is the rising tide that will lift all your ships. There are whole video essays that go into this specific aspect of the ever-changing YouTube culture, you know, the MrBeastification of YouTube. And they do this much better than I could, so I'm not going to focus too much on that part here. What I care about is the editing, because the editing of MrBeast's videos have become almost inseparable from his brand. Almost. I think we're reaching a point of no return, but I don't think it's quite there yet. Before I explain what I mean by this, let me take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, you! Hopefully. We are a small but growing channel, and we are growing fast, so if you'd like to be a part of the momentum, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified every single time I'll put a new video, or I will cry. Anyway, so we've talked about retention and engagement, but that doesn't just stop at the intro. There are things like little bits that they do with the Beast team, like shooting each other with Nerf guns or holding little competitions, or in the case of the Blindness video, surprising somebody with 10 grand or buying a kid his first car. But he doesn't just do these things, right? There's a narrative built around them. And he creates this narrative to keep you engaged without you even noticing. Moments like this.
He had poor vision from birth and almost lost his entire vision after a go-karting accident.
Lead into moments like this.
Obviously, you can't drive, right?
No, I cannot.
And this is the real reason why we're doing this. Blindness can take away parts of your life.
Which are then paid off in moments like this.
Take off your blindfold.
What?
This is your brand new Tesla. If Chris wrecks it, I'll buy another one.
And hey, that works, dude. I think one of the strongest things in MrBeast's videos right now is his ability to build that narrative structure. And he does this kind of narrative building in pretty much all of his videos, interrupting the main plot, which tends to be the sillier, crazier, attention-grabby thing, to establish these B plots and C plots that tend to be more personal, or are something that show off the stakes of the video or that particular challenge. And like I said, every single thing that I've listed off in this video so far, I think are incredibly intelligent moves. I think Jimmy and the rest of his team have gone above and beyond to attempt to quantify quantifiably define what is the best possible YouTube video. Something else, though, that MrBeast has in all of his videos is so much motion. Oh my god. In videos like 100 kids versus 100 adults, there are so many different transitions that sometimes play back to back between single cuts. If you inundate your video with this sort of artificial motion, it can take away from the impact that your story can have. You know, people are thinking, this is exciting, this is exciting, this is supposed to be exciting, and not as much about the content at hand. I think it's fair to say that social media has done a number on our attention spans for sure, but I think there's a point where this level of nonstop editing patronizes the audience a little bit. I'm not saying not to have quick cuts, and I'm not saying there's no place for creative transitions, especially in these big elimination events. That's cool, that makes sense. I mean, all the jokes like the rock jokes or the Vine booms, it's all a little 2016, you know? Bruh. In my opinion, I think MrBeast just needs to learn how to trust his content a little bit more. And what I mean by that is pushing reactions and story beats with subtlety and creativity over this sort of like hat on a hat jokey editing style. So it's clear that they focus a lot on pre-production when they make these videos. The challenges, the bits, when they're going to supply contestants with new obstacles, and the production part also seems like a lot of fun. But I think MrBeast tends to rely too much on post-production to make his video. And that's dangerous and inefficient. So what I've said so far is that MrBeast has trouble trusting his content, he has trouble veering from his formula, and all of this leads to him relying too much on the edit to create this perfect product. Let's talk about that. And the example that I want to use to help support my point here is about 2 months ago, MrBeast did a stream on MrBeast 2 called $50,000 Rock, Paper, Scissors Tournament. I watched this event live, and there were a couple mishaps graphically, like names being on the wrong side or whatever, like normal live event streaming stuff. And honestly, a lot of that can be looked past because it was live. The problem that I had with this video was Jimmy's constant comments about whenever anything slowed down, he was talking about how it was destroying retention, making a lot of implications of like, the video is bad if you don't shut up, or like, the video is bad if we don't stay on topic. Now, yeah, it could have been great if this stream event went off without a hitch, but that's not a realistic expectation when you're dealing with real contestants having real reactions. The other guys like Chris and Carl and Nolan stayed on their feet and were really like adaptable, reacting to the contestants' personalities. Meanwhile, it seemed that Jimmy was less here and more here. He wasn't present. He was in this like constant state of worry that people were going to click off the live stream. So losers in this rock, paper, scissors tournament got to pick a mystery prize. And he was so focused on this retention shit, by the end of the tournament, he told Chris to handle the last like mystery prize awarding off screen while he gave the winner of the tournament his $50,000. Check this out.
Good game. All right, you do not move. Stand here.
Come on this side.
Go grab the last mystery prize.
Mystery prize.
Actually, well, Chris handles that. Who cares? Stay here. Keep it here.
What bothers me here is that Alexis really had like this underdog narrative the entire stream. And a lot of people in the YouTube chat were like actively rooting for Alexis. And people were really upset that they didn't get to see what prize she got. But instead of Jimmy focusing on the storytelling and adapting to the natural direction of the stream and the narrative, it felt like he was just trying to hit the beats in the most efficient way possible, as if awarding the winner this $50,000 couldn't still be the grand finale if they took a second to focus on this other thing. It kind of felt like he was just checking off boxes. It felt a little bit cold.
Stay here. Keep it here. All right. You just won this 50 grand, but before you all leave, because you have, brains, you scroll on TikTok, retention's bad, I need to hook them, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to give you the option to do double or nothing with me, to double this. I'll give you a minute to think on it.
I already say no. I'm gonna say no.
Oh, come on.
Like, this is a little awkward, right? He sets up this whole hook as like a fun fourth wall break, and then he's like actually disappointed that this guy didn't want to do his like high risk, high reward challenge. In a normal MrBeast video, if somebody had said no to that double or nothing offer, he would have said something like, all right, let's get back to the video, or like something would have exploded and the video would have been over. And that's what I mean. I don't think MrBeast videos should be edited with the purpose of maximizing retention, because that can sometimes take the viewer, ironically, out of the content. Instead, I think it's much more important to edit with the purpose of the concept in mind. Practice that MrBeast has for his videos right now results in a lot of the videos feeling very samey. Not just on brand, I'm not just talking about using the same fonts or transitions like we were talking about before, but making the same types of jokes, doing the same types of bits, and treating every video with the same editing approach, which results in this. It is edited to get a lot of views, and clearly it has succeeded at that. And I'm aware that it is very easy for me to sit here with my 500 to 10,000 views per video average and criticize somebody who's getting hundreds of millions of views on these videos. Like, if I know it sells so well, why am I not making millions of dollars on YouTube, right? Well, you see, the only reason is because you haven't subscribed. So if you just hit that joking, a lot of people took issue with the Blindness video for a lot of different reasons. But what I took issue with most as an editor was the clickbaity, content-driven nature of this video, instead of prioritizing the humanity of the situation. There is a larger discussion here to be had regarding intention versus execution. MrBeast paid to cure 1,000 people globally of blindness. He gave an additional $100,000 donation to the organization that did the procedures in the US. He gave a kid a new car, he gave another man $10,000, and we watched another man see his son again for the first time in years. There is great content in this video, and the intention is incredible. So then why? Why are we speedrunning through montages of people having this procedure with a counter going up? Why are there cartoonish graphics depicting blindness? And I'm sorry, but what in the hell is this ending? This is gross. I get the scale that they're going for. I get the speed and the size increasing. It's supposed to feel like overwhelming, like look at the impact. But to me, it feels phony. If this was a global operation, then why are we seeing the constructive narrative, 95% of it, from the POV of the United States? And why does that cover 7 minutes of this 8-minute video? And then you whip us through the rest of the world in like 30 seconds. It almost makes the global effort feel performative, even if it wasn't. Same with the very, very end, where you have these people say like, thank you, MrBeast.
Thank you, MrBeast. Thank you.
And especially in the end screen, which reads, I wonder if we'll get 1,000 more views from the people we cured, LOL. I get that it's a joke, but the comment here is the absolute nail in the coffin for me. For a video that I believe to have tremendous intention, but horrible execution. Especially when there is content in the video, stuff that was filmed, that is so good and so personal and intimate. There is this air of kindness around this video, and that could really be pushed. So I can sit here and criticize MrBeast and this video all I want, right? But what would I change? I'm doing a lot of talking here, right? But what would I do as an editor, as an outsider? Well, to answer the question of what I think MrBeast could change, let's take a look at MrBeast, specifically the Beast Philanthropy channel. Beast Philanthropy recently underwent an overhaul in terms of production, editing, and design. And it was largely due to this guy right here.
All the pressures. Here, feel this?
That is. Imagine I just make the worst video ever. You're like, what the fuck, what's going?
Whatever we upload, I'm fully leaning on him. So if the video's God tier, it's because of him. If the video is the worst, it's also because of him.
Dan Mace is a filmmaker that recently got brought on board to be the new director of the Beast Philanthropy channel, starting with their recent video, We Saved an Orphanage. Before this video, there were still a lot of the same issues on the Philanthropy channel. Overuse of emojis, big text, big hooks in the intro, which is all well and good in Jimmy's typical content. But please, if you don't believe me yet, just take a look at this jump in quality.
These kids are absolutely amazing. I want them to have an opportunity to have a future where they're not going to be plagued by health problems and conditions like that. And it breaks my heart knowing that they are starting out from the time that they're infants or young children, and they're going to be exposed to all of the problems that this place has. That was all I needed to know about what was going on here, to know that we had to step in and remediate the problem.
Sorry, what? Oh, sorry, I was just so immediately engaged with even the shortest clip from this video. And the comments agree, dude. Like, everyone sees the transformation that these little changes can make. There's still text, there's still sound effects, there's still lighthearted moments, but it's all a lot more subtle, and more importantly than that, it is all so much more artistically intentional. The focus is no longer on the fact that this is a MrBeast video. Look at what MrBeast is doing. And it's about the people in the video. It's about how are these people affected. 1,000 blind people see for the first time treats MrBeast like a hero. People are stunned to see him in the video, they compliment him in the video, he gives people cars and money. We Saved an Orphanage, on the other hand, treats the people affected as the heroes. It emphasizes their strength, their tenacity, what they had to go through. And I think that the Blindness video could have learned a lot from this video. In storytelling alone, there is just a clearer, more intentional direction. And a more intentional direction always leads to a more cohesive post-production process. A lot of MrBeast videos, especially the ones with a lot of subplots, can start to feel like compilations. But this video is, described by the director Dan Mace himself, a film. Listen to Dan talk about this opportunity.
Jimmy offered me the opportunity to come on board and direct a film for their Beast Philanthropy channel. And if I could imagine the most fulfilling job for me as a film director, it would be to create films with real meaning, films that create actual change.
Immediately, you know that he has a clear vision for this project and says he finds incredible fulfillment in it as well. And I believe Jimmy does too.
So like with Beast Philanthropy, we started the channel, we used the money from the channel to feed people. You know, we kind of forget the numbers on YouTube are real people. And so, you know, if we can use that to help ease human suffering. And on top of that, when we make the videos, a large part of my audience is younger, so it inspires them to do good.
Jimmy wants to help inspire young people to make real change with Beast Philanthropy, and Dan has this intense drive and passion to change the world by making films with real meaning. This video is a marrying of those two concepts perfectly. This video is something that I would love to see more of. I could take or leave the thumbnail, but whatever. I think that MrBeast thinks of his video creation as a science. In a way, it is. He has always crafted videos and ideas that play to the strengths of his audience, his abilities, and maybe most importantly, the algorithm. But as Dan Mace's directorial debut for MrBeast shows us, there is a real opportunity to show how much good you're doing, not just on the Philanthropy channel, but on the main channel as well, with the Blindness video, in a format that reaches more people than just your target audience. That level of focusing on the individual rather than the accomplishment is what's going to elevate your content. If you could refocus your intention, especially in the edit, to be about the narrative and the authenticity of the experiences of the people in your videos, I really believe it would take your videos to an even higher level. And let's be clear, even the most intense critics of the Blindness video, which I am not one of, will agree that the best part of this video is when the guy sees his son again for the first time.
When you come out of the surgery, what's the first thing that you're excited to see?
My son. He's been my rock through all of this.
Before the operation, you mentioned the first thing you wanted to see was your son.
Seeing him, seeing his face, that's what I miss, you know.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You're really good, man.
All right.
Oh my God, man.
There you go.
The car is fun, and the money is fun, and those things are great and joyful to see. I'm not saying to get rid of the lighthearted aspects of your video, but what's more important in this video is how the procedure affects each individual, and the donations you made to the organization, and the global impact that this money will have. And it kind of sucks that 2 out of 3 of those things were crammed into the last minute of the video. So the answer is, put Dan Mace on every video. No, the answer is, don't be afraid to try things, right? Don't be afraid to change your formula, or at least update it and evolve it and adapt. I think it really worked on the Beast Philanthropy channel, and if you wanted to make more videos like the Blindness one on your main channel in the future, I wouldn't be afraid to play with subtlety, intention in direction, and post, and also just trusting that your content is strong enough to drive the narrative. All right, so the 3 of you who have watched all the way to the end of the video, one of who is me, proof watching this video before it goes live, and another one who is my girlfriend who I'm making proof watch with me before it goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, get out. Bye.